AI for business growth. Today is each one is fun. And today we're going to be talking about discovering the power of AI and crafting your unique value pitch. So I'm excited to take you through that. And then next week, we'll be talking about the magic of marketing. AI can help you with your marketing. And how is it going to do that? It'll help you be faster. It'll help you get more engaging content. We're actually going to dabble with some really cool video tools that are very inexpensive to free for you to use. And then on December 17th, we're going to be doing some AI, some smart tools to strengthen how you might even apply for a grant and win that grant. So we're going to be on Wednesdays from noon until 1. And this is who I am. And you can create your own action figure on AI if you want. So I created this one on ChatGPT, and I told it a lot about myself. I uploaded a photo of myself and my dogs. And why this is kind of fun to do. If you're new to AI, it's kind of fun to do something that's means something to you, so you can see how it behaves. And how you would do this, you would go to chatgpt.com, create an account, and ask it to create an action figure of yourself and see what happens. And then you're starting to see how to engage with AI. It's kind of one of the first things, if this was hands-on, that I would have you do. It's a lot of fun. This one I created in Gemini. Gemini is an AI tool, and I'm going to be going into each one for you, that's owned by Google. It's really improved over the last little while. So Gemini and ChatGPT are kind of the two most used AI tools that you'll find. And this one is the one that Gemini created. I asked it for the exact same thing that I asked of ChatGPT, and you can see how different it is, how it came up. So it's very interesting how they are very different. They're unique. They are creative. So you're talking to it and it comes back to you with things that it thinks you've asked. And let me tell you what I mean by that. So again, today we're going to talk about what AI is, how to use it, how to create your brand story, how to create your marketing pitch, and communicate your value with confidence. So quick intro. Again, this is my Borg self that I had AI create. So what I'm going to do is give you a quick intro of what AI is to you. And then I'm going to say why it matters. Then I'm going to get into prompt engineering, which means how you speak to AI to get what you want out of it, which is why that first exercise of trying to get AI to create an action figure for you is important, because it shows you how, if you're not completely clear in what you ask of AI, it comes back with something ridiculous. So some of the first AI action figures of myself that I asked for were, were not even close to what I thought I was asking. So that's why prompt engineering is so important. Then we're going to jump into how to create your specific value proposition. I'm going to share with you exactly what to ask AI, how to ask it, and then I'm hoping you're going to use that and create your value proposition. And all the way through, I'm sprinkling it with some fun videos. And next week, I'll show you how to create these videos on your own. So here's one of the fun videos. I created this for something called CapCut. So this is something that is owned by TikTok. It's called CapCut. It's a video app that I'll show you how to use next week. And all I did here was I uploaded a photo that I found on the Facebook of our friends at Saugeen, and it then created it into this puzzle. The reason you use these kind of things like CapCut is because you're trying to get people's attention through your marketing and share your story. And so that's what I will show you what that looks like. So I click on this and it created this for me automatically, put it together, and it's kind of fun. When would you use that? That's what we'll talk about when we're creating your value proposition and when we create the marketing message next week. Okay. So kind of neat, right? So let's continue. Come on. So in simple terms, what is AI? In simple terms, AI is, you got to think of it as working next to the smartest person in the entire universe. You've been able to, somehow get that smartest thinker in the entire universe to work with you. But remember, they know so much, they really don't know um, who you are. So you need to train them. And this is what we do with AI. So they're the best thinkers in the world, and you have access to them. But we need to train them. Otherwise, they're going to tell you things that you're thinking, I didn't ask about that. That's not my culture. That's not who I am. So we need to train them. So why do you need to embrace AI? Because if you don't, you're going to be left behind because things will happen at a faster pace. You're not going to have access to things that your competitors do. So you don't want to be left behind. And it just saves you so much time in the long run. And then people will say, well, I don't need it because I'm already doing fine without without AI. People think about it like electricity. Years and years ago, we know that we didn't need electricity. We had different ways to heat our homes. We had different ways to see at night. And so now, could you imagine life without electricity, right? So that's what AI is kind of like. They're saying if you don't use it, you're just not, you're going to be left behind in essence. So I always like to share with you to don't think of AI as a tool. Think of it as hiring an employee. You have the ability to have someone work with you all the time, which is kind of cool. And like every employee, many of you have been employees, many of you have worked alongside someone. Imagine you don't tell anything to that new person and they try to figure it out themselves. It won't be an effective relationship. They won't know what to do. So just like a new employee, you need to tell it what to do, tell it how to think, tell it how to respond, tell it where to get its information from. And you need to check its content. So if you just bring someone on to help you wherever you happen to be working, you know for a fact they won't know how much your pricing is. They won't know your story. They'll just make it up and it won't be accurate. So you really need to train them so that they're now empowered to really help you become stronger. So the more you help them train, the bigger. And that's where these things called prompts come into play. And that's what I'll be sharing with you. So we're going to talk to AI in this session to help it create a value proposition for you. So the biggest mindset really is it's not just a tool, it's someone helping you all the time. It just happens to be AI. So this is just talking more about share. It's like a new employee, they're always there, but they don't understand your goals, your tone, your systems, your expectations just yet until you share it. But they're learning all the time. You tell it once, and it's likely going to remember. They analyze things. They have access to so much information that they're able to give you all sorts of insights. So these are some key tasks that over the next little while together, we're going to explore on things you can do with AI. So come to the ones that you feel that will help you the most. Today is your value proposition and how AI can help you form your elevator pitch, help you form what your competitive advantage is. Okay. And then you use that really to create your information. Once you know, yeah, this is why people find my stuff amazing. This is why people want to buy my stuff. These are the kind of people that are attracted to what I sell, to what I make. Then you're able to form your marketing materials for them, specifically for them. And AI knows what they like. So today we're going to do the value proposition, and then next time we meet, we're going to talk about how you create content so that they're actually interested in it. Pretty cool, right? So engaging content. Then we're going to look a little bit at, we're not going to do repetitive tasks just yet, but we're going to talk about how to apply and write for grants on our third time together before Christmas. And then maybe over Christmas, you can apply for a grant or two. So Brittany knows of a few that are available often. So we're going to look at those specific ones. So what interests you most in AI? You kind of want to think about that. Your strategic plans, competitive analysis, client pain points. I love client pain points. I don't like that they have pain, but I like that AI can help you pinpoint what their pain points are or why they find you valuable and how to make you understand that you are good at that. Let's share it, So, and then creating the content, like I said, that's what we're going to do next time. Some cool ways to use AI to create those little videos, to create maybe blogs, flyers, even podcasts. So many different things you can create. So then productivity, how to use your email faster and better, how to write things better. Just throw a whole bunch of bullets at it and tell it you need a 2-pager and it comes back with it. It's like mind blowing. Automatically doing some key tasks for you. Like I said, we're not going to get into that this year. And then governance and policy may not apply to yourselves, but I will share with you things that you should not do on AI when we talk about different things. So this is another cute little picture. So now imagine you have a product or something you've just created, or even you creating something. You've got a video of you creating something. You want to put it out there in some effective way. So this is CapCut, kind of sharing with you that you can upload a photo or a video here, and I'll just show you what it looks like. Pretty cool, eh? So cute. Everyone loves a kitty cat. And so So again, that just happens. One of the clients that actually did use this recently that I work with had a video of something that they were, oh yeah, their 50% off sale that they were having for Black Friday. That's what they ended up having up there, was their little video. So it's kind of neat. And there's just so many of these to choose from. They're called templates and CapCut, and I'll show you that next week. Cool, eh? Okay, so this is a fun one. Again, it's a human that was on your social media for at Saugeen, and all I did was I uploaded her photo. That's it. I didn't upload this guy. I didn't upload anything else. This was part of the template, and this is what happened. Now you probably can't hear it, but it's singing, "You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch." So it's very cool. So there's so many things you could do with it. Now, again, these are AI templates. You can, and they're really neat. Okay, so now we know what AI is about, but how do you access it? So how do you even get to it? Let me show you. So there's different ways to access it. These are the three main AI tools that are out there. There are many of them, but these are the three. I'll be focusing on ChatGPT and Gemini. You can access it directly in your browser and on your cell phone. So think of it either like Facebook, where you can go and create a Facebook account. You go to facebook.com, you put in an email and a password, and then you download the app on your phone, and it's the same Facebook account. It's the exact same thing, right? Or think of it like your bank account, where you go into your bank and you have your browser access and you have the app on your phone. So it's the exact same thing. So chatgpt.com was the first AI tool. Something called OpenAI created it, and it keeps on getting better and better. And then what came out soon after was copilot.microsoft.com. Microsoft created it, and that one is considered more secure. And it's something you can use directly in your browser as well. And it's not right now as creative as ChatGPT, we're finding, but you can use the ChatGPT version of it. So that's interesting. And then Gemini.google.com, made by, who do you think? Gemini. So that one is really powerful as well. It keeps on getting better and better. And sometimes I find I will ask the exact same question to ChatGPT as I do to Gemini.google.com, as you saw from my superheroes when I first started the session. And they come out very differently. And sometimes I love the Gemini one, and I'll take that information. Or I love the ChatGPT one, and I take that information. And then what do? I always tweak it so it sounds like me. I make sure it's accurate, and I tell it if it's wrong so it knows the next time. I'm training it all the time. So these are the ones that I'm going to take you to directly today. Now, there's a different type one as well, and I'll share that with you in a second. So these are the three different types. We've got ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, then there's a whole bunch of other ones. There's Grok, there's a number of other ones that you can go do directly in your browser. Then there are ones that are embedded in your, if you're a Microsoft platform, 365, perhaps you use that. You can upgrade for an additional $20 a month from your 365 and have Copilot within your Word, within your Excel documents, within your PowerPoint. And why would you ever do that? Because if you ever want to analyze a spreadsheet of a whole bunch of numbers, or even analyze a whole bunch of different Excel spreadsheets with a whole bunch of numbers, your Copilot within your Microsoft world can do that. So we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about that in a couple of sessions when we talk about the grant one. So if you're not a Microsoft World person, you're more so a Google person, then they have Google. If you upgrade, you can get Gemini embedded in your docs, in your drive, in your meets, in your slides, in your Google world, and use that. So that's kind of thing. Embedded within is safer, is more secure because it's behind your email password safety zone. Okay, so that's where it's more secure. And then you, like, for example, Zoom here, I'm using AI within my Zoom. So you've logged into Zoom, and what happens is when you're in Zoom, it's automatically writing down every single thing I say, and it's going to come out with highlights for me. It's going to come up with action plans for me. It's fabulous. And say someone like Joyce decides, you know what, I'd like you to talk about this next week. It will remind me of that afterwards. I'll know that that's what Joyce has said, which is so cool, right? I absolutely love that. So it automatically records everything for me, and it turns it into a video. So it's embedded in Zoom. It automatically all happens for me. So it turns into a video, and it takes pieces of it. It turns it into not just the whole video, also chapters of what we're talking about. So it'll already cut it up into smaller places for me, which is awesome. And then there's purpose built. There's those ones that are specifically AI tools built for certain things, like CapCut, those short little videos I'm showing you. That is purpose built from TikTok to help you with those little videos. HeyGen, that's where I use HeyGen for cloning. I'll show you that next week, how you can do a clone of yourself if you'd like to do more videos, but you know what you want to say, kind of, but you need some help. It'll write a script. You can even put up a whole PowerPoint, and it'll turn that right into a PowerPoint for you. And it'll translate it into different languages. So I'm curious which languages it has. We could look at that together next week. Industry specific, don't think that applies to you. I was working with some manufacturing companies a couple weeks ago and some tourism companies the weeks before that, and they had industry specific software that they have that has AI built into it. And there's other ones as well that I'm not going to get into right now, but one that I absolutely love to use for education, if any of you are educators, is notebooklm.google.com. One of the most powerful tools I've ever played with. I use it daily now. So these are my top 10 AI tools. Feel free to take a picture of this, but I'm also going to be sharing this video and this PowerPoint to you, with you. So there's ChatGPT, Gemini, as I said, but I've already talked about all of these. So let's continue. So how to access it from your browser. So all you're going to do is you're going to go into chatgpt.com, and you put that at the top, and what comes up is first it was going to want you to create an account. So and you want to do that because you want it to remember what you talked about when you go in the next time. So if you can, so when you look at this, you would ask it anything you want in the center here. So I started out by just asking it to help me out with recipes. I would tell it everything that was in, some things that were in my fridge that I wanted to use, and say what can I make with this? And it was outstanding. Okay, so then I got comfortable with it. The next time I'd say, okay, here is a social media post I want to put out. I want it to be on this topic. I was going to use this photo, so then I show it the photo I'm going to use. I said, can you help me write it a little more intelligently? Can you also make sure that my target market is interested in it. Well, then it asks me questions. Well, who's your target market? What's your product? And so it now starts asking me questions. Oh, cool. So I tell a little more. Next thing you know, it's got the most eloquent post, but it didn't really sound like me yet. So I said, I don't really sound like that. I think I'm fun. I'm approachable. I'm down to earth. I'm a real human. I need to sound that way. I don't want to sound, I don't use emojis. I'm not too girly. I need it to sound like me. And so then I gave it my link to my Facebook so it could see what I sound like. Said, oh, okay. And it changed its tone. So now it sounds like me. Mind blowing, right? And so then my husband is a snowblower. So I've created a, a project for him for snow blowing, what his route is. So that kind of stuff I'll talk about later. So when you come in, you ask it something. Then I want to come back and talk about a different topic. So I would ask it something else. But say I want to come back and go back to a topic I had talked to it about, last week, but I don't want to reinvent the wheel. What happens is on your left side at the bottom, it has every chat you've ever had, every chat you've ever had. So I want to click on location sharing issues. No, that would make sense. Handling parts, route map. So if I click on this, it's going to come up with everything I talked about the route map that I did for my husband for his snow plowing company. And now I can say, okay, tell me when that route will be icy. I need to know which days we need to go out and salt this route. So it'll go out, it'll check, it comes back, and it gives me that information. It's so powerful. So this is how you would go into Chat GPT. If you ever want to ask it something in dark mode, but you don't want it to show up on the side afterwards, you click on this up here, which is called private mode. And then the color changes and you can ask it whatever you want, talk to it. And then when you come back next time, it will not be there. So that's really cool. So there are things that you can do where you can save them as projects. Projects are kind of neat and people are using them more and more. If you have a whole bunch of things you're doing on perhaps creating a certain type of a skirt, and you'd like that to be separate, you can turn that into a project. You can ask it for patterns. You can ask it for ideas. You can ask it for where should I buy this ribbon from in my certain area? What are the prices? Give me a chart. So you can put everything together in one project. So every time you want to talk about that or find out more information or get them to create a picture for you or a pattern, you can go back to your once the project you created on that topic. So here's all your past charts. Here is projects. Pretty cool, right? Then up here, I'll be talking about that another time. You can create your own Chat GPT for a specific project, for a specific topic. When you would use that is if you have perhaps some clients and you want them to know how to use your products or you want them to know more about you. I'll show you at a later time how to create your own chat bot, which is kind of cool. And where that happens is right up here. So those are your three different sections. Once you ask something in the first place, when you first go to it, it's just going to be naked in the middle, where it's just going to say, ask me anything. Then once you ask it, you go out, you come back in, your past chats will be here. At any time, you can go in and create a project. At any time, you can go in and create a chat bot. But I'll show you how to do both at a later point. What's kind of cool is if you click on this plus, there's all sorts of other things you can do with ChatGPT. It keeps on getting more and more powerful. You can add a photo, have it analyze the photo. You can add a file, have it analyze the file. You can ask it to create a post based on this photo. You can ask it to change this photo into a superhero. You can ask it to change it into a cartoon. You can ask it to, it's getting better with video, but you can try and ask it to create a video. However, Gemini just launched a better video tool, so I might go to Gemini for that. So that's how it works. And there's deep research, create an image, agent mode, which is kind of cool. We're not going to talk about that in the next few times, but that's where you can have it do your automations for you. Okay. So all I want to do today is like get you, okay, where do I go to find it? ChatGPT.com. Good. Check. If you were going to put it on your um, cell phone, you would go to your app store and you would download it, and it would be the chatgpt.com one that you're downloading. Okay. So this is, as I said before, okay. So now this is Copilot. If you ever wanted to use the Microsoft version of an AI tool from your browser, you would go to copilot.microsoft.com. They behave the same. Once you know how to use one, you'll know how to use the other. You go in the middle and you write down what you want to ask it. It comes back with the answer. And then on the side here, you have your past conversations. Up here, you have your library of everything you've ever talked about. And so that's kind of cool. You scroll down, you click on the plus, you can do all sorts of other cool things. If you notice, you can connect it to your Gmail. You can connect it to your Microsoft Outlook. You can connect it to files. Don't get confused with that right now. I'll get into that on our third time together. So if I am trying to get its help on creating a grant, I'm going to connect it to the grant, which I have filed in my computer. It's automatically going to read the grant, and it's going to come up with how I answer the grant. But I'll talk about that later. Let's do one step at a time. Gemini, this is another tool. I'm only going to share these three with you right now that I really love. Gemini.google.com. It's really powerful. It's from Google. It just got improved 2 weeks ago. So again, you click on New Chat. It'll come up right here. Ask it anything. You're going to add to it. It'll tell you the answers up here. It starts floating the answers. You come back to see again, I want to go back and look at finding and coding a costing address. I was looking for a specific dress. Here it's posting jobs on Facebook Marketplace, how to do that. Entrepreneurs, health and balance. Here it's a competitive analysis for a kitchen renovation company. So that's one of my clients. So if I want to go back there, I can go back there and continue my competitive analysis. I can ask it for my marketing information for that particular client. So I would go back to my past conversations with it. So it's building on everything that I've asked it already. Now, if I want to make this private mode, I click on this and it'll go dark, and whatever I ask it won't be there on the side later. Okay. And again, if I click on this plus or the tools, these are all the cool things that it can do. So this create video is new, and it's really, really powerful. This Nana Banana thing is new. It's really powerful in creating images. So it actually, Google has the other AI tools scared right now because this one has become so powerful. So remember I said you could embed it within your system. So what you can do is you can go into your Google, and this is my Gmail, and I can embed Gemini in it right there. Then I click on it, a little side platform comes up, and I can ask it anything about all of my emails. I can say, please go in and find all the emails I ever did to Brittany, summarize what they say. Do I have any action items? And it comes up and tells me exactly, oh, yeah, you're supposed to be on a Zoom call right now. And the Zoom link you have isn't your personal one, it's your host one, which is when I realized I gave Brittany. Anyways, I was a little confused with which Zoom link to be on today. And I went to Google and it told me. So it's pretty cool. I got to remember to think for myself a little bit too, right? So I can do things like that. I can ask it. I can also find this in my Google Drive, many different places. So it's not in the browser as this is, gemini.google.com. It's actually within my Gmail system. So that's what we call embedded. They're more secure, they're more trustworthy when they're embedded in your actual applications. So I can ask it, I click on this, It'll actually summarize this email, whatever was in this email, if I want it to. So that's what this little AI with those little stars always mean. It's AI. Ask Gemini, click on it, and it'll come up with that sidebar. This is what it looks like in Microsoft Word. In Microsoft Word, it's not Gemini. What is it? Copilot. So what happens when you upgrade that $20 a month on all of your Microsoft tools, this little Copilot emblem shows up. Where is it? There it is. And when you click on that, the side panel comes up embedded within your Microsoft. And this is how I'll show you in the third workshop, webinar that we're together, how you can use either this or Gemini within your docs to help you with your grant. I'm going to show you how to do it within your Microsoft or Google world. I'll also show you how to do it from your browser world if you'd rather do it that way. Okay, so I'm not going to focus on these right now. I'm just going to go forward. And we're going to talk about grants in the third session, as I said. I'll also touch on resumes in that third session as well, because I think that's kind of cool. So this is another CapCut just for your viewing pleasure. I uploaded a photo of this young woman and her child from one of your Facebook posts, and this is what it did for me. Pretty cool, eh? It's beautiful. Okay, so what is prompts? Prompts are referred to the way you communicate to AI. You got to be clear and precise and include what you who is this AI? You're talking to it. What role do you want them to play? What are they an expert in at that point? So you're the human, just in case you weren't sure. You're talking to AI and you're telling it to go into the internet and come back with an answer. Or you're a human, you're still a human, you're going into AI and you're telling it to go into your files on your computer or your email and come back to you with an answer. So generally that's what you're doing, okay? So now imagine this brain is the AI. It's really, really got access to everything. And you need to be very specific on what it's going to go get, okay? So you want to definition of AI. We know what they are. There's a range of them. So there's a prompt where you could just ask it one question, comes back with one answer. Or you can say, hey, I want this and this information. Can you tell me one step at a time how I learn more about it? Then once you think I've learned enough about it, tell me what else I need to know about this information. I know people that will learn a topic. They'll say, I want to learn everything about X topic. And they ask AI to teach them about it in the next half hour because they've got a half an hour to understand this topic. So they go back and forth on this cool topic and AI trains them. Pretty neat, eh? So you got to tell AI what role are they playing right now. You're an expert in, southwestern Essex or southwestern Ontario, and I want you to tell me what people in this area are interested in when it comes to authentic First Nation arts. And okay, now you also know my company or my family produces these kind of, bracelets and necklaces, earrings, through the beaded work or through birch bark work with different, you know your stuff better than I do. And tell me why people would find it valuable. And so they're an expert. Okay, so they're going to tell you something. So you need to tell it who they are and how you're going to use this content. So you need to be very accurate. I'm going to give you a bunch of prompts. So there's 9 foundations to a good prompt: defining the AI role, be clear, eliminate ambiguity, include examples. So what a lot of people do is they'll say, here's some of my favorite posts from the past that I did that I really like. I want it to sound like this. Or here's somebody else's value proposition that I've seen recently. I love what it looked like. I love what it says. And here's what I'm all about. So make me sound good. So you could be giving them examples. Some people like doing newsletters. Some people like doing little ads or flyers, and they find some they really like, and they tell AI, these are the examples of things I really like. but here's my branding, here's my story. Ask me more information. What do you need in order to create my flyer or my story? And I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. So if you want something just to be 200 letters or 200 words, tell it. If you want something to be 5 pages, tell it. If you want something to be a table, tell it. So it needs to know what kind of output are you looking for. If you want something to be words and perhaps an image, tell it, right? So it's going to give you what you ask for. So you, and then when it comes back with something, go, no, you're missing this point. I am actually more about this than that. You tell it, so it starts knowing who you are. And I always say, okay, this was perfect. How should I have asked you for that information? Ask it to give you the prompt. That's brilliant. Once I started doing that just a little while ago, a couple months ago, my prompts became so much more effective. So I'd be, fiddling, trying to ask AI something, comes back with something half baked, comes back with something else half baked. But when I finally get what I want, I'll say, so what should I have asked so that this prompt turned out perfectly like this? It tells me, then I redo the prompt in AI, in Gemini, and in ChatGPT, and the answers are brilliant. So let's just get right into it then. So discovering your true value rooted in culture and story. So this prompt is about helping you find your story. My story is my value. So your story, your background is your value, is your richness. It's your authenticity. No one can take that away. We know that, right? So you are a respected brand story. So you're telling AI that they are a respected brand storytelling expert who understand Indigenous made art, culture, and tradition. So maybe that's not relevant for who you are. So change this so that it makes sense. So you want them to be an expert in whatever your industry is. So then let them know that you are a maker or whatever you happen to be. But I understand that most of the humans that are looking at this are makers from the Saugeen First Nation. So make sure you're clear on that. My work is passed down through the generations. Obviously, assuming that might be the case. If it's not, then you could say my work is something I've taught myself recently. So, tweak this so it's accurate for you through my family and is connected to my culture, land, and community. So you got to tweak this so it's you. I create and describe what you make: beaded jewelry, ribbon skirts, regalia, paintings, carvings. What is it you make? Okay, so you're putting all this into AI, okay? And then you're going to say, help me identify what makes my work unique and meaningful, the ancestral knowledge, time, and care behind it. My work is more than just a product, a deeper story people can feel connected to. Then write a short paragraph that explains my true value of work and respect in a respectful, empowering way. Okay, so I actually did this prompt. So I went in and I looked for a company on the Saugeen First Nation website, and I came out with this company. And then I went into this prompt that I just showed you. So I'm hoping you're going to do this on your own before we meet next week. And what I did was I used this paragraph, and then here I just, in this case, stole the um, paragraph that Saugeen had on its website. So I just indicated the about me, the website, and then I continued with this, part of the prompt. So all you want to do is in here, just put in about yourself. And then this is what it came out with. Oops, let me go show you what it came out with. Sorry. Okay. So this is now live going into ChatGPT. One moment, please. I'm going to go to a new chat. Okay. And then I'm going to cut and paste it. That's all you have to do on your own. Okay. I'm going to cut and paste that in there. And at the same time, I'm just going to do it in Gemini because I want to show you the difference. So I'm going to go into Gemini and do the same thing. Plain text. There. And it's copied it into here. Okay. So then all I'm going to do is click on submit. So now it's asking this beautiful question. You're a respected brand story telling expert, understanding Indigenous art, and it describes everything that we just saw about this company. Okay, so now it's going in the unique value of the beads. Here is the analysis of the core elements that make your work profound, unique, and meaningful, honoring the knowledge and time care woven into every piece. What makes your work unique is intergenerational kinship and legacy. Your journey began by learning from your father, is deeply inspired by your late grandmother's bead collection. It's not simply a skill. So you can see how rich it is and how eloquently they write it for you. And then we get into ancestral knowledge of time and care, the good life in practice. And so you can see everything that it's doing for us here and the deeper story connection, identity. So I really want you to do this for yourself. Then it starts talking about culturally grounded value proposition. And it says, here's a short paragraph you requested designed to be used across your value proposition bio and your elevator pitch. And then we talk about the company offers wearable ancestral knowledge woven into one of a kind heirloom art. And it talks about that even more. And then, of course, you want to put your own twist to it or your own voice to it if it's not accurate. Then what I do is I rewrite it with uh, my own voice, my own personality, and then I say, "How is this?" And then it comes back and tells me if if I've made an error, grammar, or whatnot. So it says, "I believe this statement is authentic, captures depth, identity, ensuring value of your work." And then it says, "Would you like me to refine the paragraph further?" Or perhaps make this statement a draft short bio. So I'm going to say make it a draft short bio. So all I'm saying is, please make a draft short bio. So now it's going back and forth for me. And I can say a short bio. So I'm asking it to do that. And I can ask it to do it fast, or I can make it think it through and take a long time. And sometimes if you want something really well done, that's what you want to do. So I'm going to make it go back and take all of this that it just did for you and turn it into a short bio. So artist bio is saying is a proud member of Saugeen First Nations. Her exquisite beadwork and foundation of her, and I don't want to mess up the name, beads is a living tribute to her heritage, kinship, and the enduring beautiful beauty of her traditional territory. So you can see it's come back with these beautiful words. Then it says where to use the bio. You want to use the bio in your about page, your social media, exhibit, market signage, use the full text to explain your connection to your work when you're at perhaps your booth. So you can see how beautifully that's laid out. Let's look at what Gemini did. Gemini, did I forget to press go? So Gemini is now thinking. You can see it's thinking about it. Sorry, this was Gemini. As you know, it says Gemini clearly there for you. So ChatGPT, now I'm in ChatGPT. If I go down, you can see what ChatGPT has done. So again, this is all about you. So you want to take your time, look at it, see, okay, which makes more sense for you. This one, they're talking about the birch bark, the quills, the hides, the furs, the shells. So it's connecting a little bit more, I think. I kind of like what ChatGPT has done. It's done some more research on what the actual what the actual connection is between your work and the value statement. So then I'm going to say, yeah, I want a short elevator pitch. So would you like a short elevator pitch? I say, yes, please, an elevator pitch. And then I just type that, and then I press enter, and it's coming out with a short and respectful elevator pitch that you could use. And I create heirloom beadwork grounded in teachings passing through. And you can see that how beautifully that is written. So again, some people prefer the way Gemini interacts. Some people prefer the way ChatGPT. I go to both often when it's something as important as your own value statement because it's powerful to get that right. Okay, so I'm going to share this prompt with you, and I'm hoping you're going to use it yourself because I can't imagine anything more important. So then the next thing you do, which I really love, is now that you know your value statement, you want to ask it, who are my true supporters? Who are my clients? Who's my ideal client in your area? So that's kind of cool. So I would take this and say, perhaps I'm just going to continue and I'm going to say, okay, I am this other company that we were just talking about. And I'm going to say, you are a market research expert, and I want you to identify for me who my target audience is. Okay, and help me identify 3 to 5 type of people who would truly value and respect my work. For each group, explain who they are, the age, the lifestyle, mindset. Why are they drawn to my kind of authentic handmade cultural art? What they might be looking for emotionally, and then to feel connected to me. So I'm going to now go back to my back here, and I'm going to ask it. So now that it knows who I am, I'm going to say, okay, so you are a market expert um, in traditions. And so because I'm putting it in the same string, it knows who I am already because it just created my elevator pitch, right? So I'd say, so you are expert. Help me identify 3 to 5 people who would truly value my work, and write a short paragraph. So there you go. So I'm going to ask it to do that for me, and I'm going to say I'd like to see it write a short paragraph that is the uh, can you present it in a table format? Table. I like tables better format. Okay. See what it does with that. Uh, Below is a clear, respectful table that identifies the group of people most likely to value your beadwork, not just as art, but as living culture. Followed by a short value statement you can use in your marketing. Okay, let's take a look at this. I'm going to increase it a little bit. Whoops, maybe I increased it too much. So we have Indigenous women and community members between 20 and 60. Women are rooted in their culture, connecting to their identifier, building bundles for themselves. And then we scoot over here a little bit because I'm over at the edge. I can't get over. Okay, so to make it smaller again. So I go over and then we look at why they're drawn to my art, to my authentic Indigenous handmade art. They value pieces that honor lineage and strength. So they tell me exactly who they are, what they're seeking. There's to connect to belonging, how to speak to their hearts, speak about ancestry and the land you gather it from. So that's one group. So let's just go back and see who the other groups are. We have conscious collectors, ethical buyers between 30 and 70, and then we have people on a healing or reconnection journey. And then we have gift givers who want meaningful, not just trends. And then we have art and cultural appreciators. So it tells us who all they are and how to speak to them. So now this crafts your story to them on social media and on those videos. So now that you have those 5 different groups, you're able to decide, okay, I probably want to focus on maybe these first 2. I'm going to go to Gemini and just see how it does it as well. So then you're able to come back when we're together next week and we're creating the video content and the other marketing content. We're able to say, okay, I'd go right back to this thread and I'll say, okay, create a piece of 5, say, social media posts that I would have to reach out to this specific type of company, client rather. So here I've got your valued customer profiles for this company's the beads, And it's got the conscious collector, the conscious collector, and it tells me who they are, what they focus on, the emotional, spiritual need they have, who they are and why they're drawn to me. Then we have the Indigenous ally supporter between 25 and 45. They're educated, they active activity in social causes, and how to reach them. The heritage seekers and who they are, how old they are, and how to reach them. The nature craft enthusiasts and how old they are and how to reach them. And you can see they're a little bit different, but some of them are the same. This last one was the same on both. The gift giving intention buyer. So you can download it as an Excel spreadsheet. You can just cut and paste this if you wanted to, so you had it, but it's always going to be there on the past chats, and that's where I'll go to next time. And now this one, I really love how Gemini's done this. It takes each one now, and it expands what the my messaging should be for each one of these. So the deeper connection, my shorter value proposition for all audiences. So this is my value proposition for all audiences. So that brings us almost to the end of today. So I'm going to leave you with those two things because these are so important for you to be able to create your own value proposition and then narrow down on who is it that you are actually reaching out to. And then from that, this is the third one that you would do on your own, is say, now create my value proposition. But as you can see, ChatGPT and Gemini already created that for you. They kind of knew where we were going with this exercise. Okay, so we will, the last thing I would probably do, but again, ChatGPT already did that for us, is create, you can actually go in and say, create a short bio for my website, signage for my booth, Instagram bio, which is important if you're on Instagram. Keep my tone authentic, proud, and rooted. So you can ask it to do that for you. Okay, so what I'll be showing you next week, this is not really me, this is my AI twin. And with my AI twin, she talks, she sounds like me. So I could have done her in a white background so then I could place myself anywhere I want to be. I should have done that, or a green background, like something plain. Right now I have myself in my office, which is okay for me because I'm always talking from here. But if I'm someone maybe that I want to put myself in different environments, I should have had a white background so that I could have put myself in different environments. Okay, so next time we're together, let me just move over here. Next time we're together, which is December 10th, we're going to be talking about the magic of AI and for marketing, creating faster material, and those little videos that I've been sharing with you, and just how to use AI to help you create your marketing material, video or text. Okay, and it's going to boost your creativity. And so what I'm hoping is you're going to take some of these prompts, do it for yourself, and then once you have that knowledge, we'll be able to get together next week, create your marketing material next.